guys, welcome to this video lecture for partnership. So partnership is the last topic with respect to your percentage profit and loss. And let's start with this. So what do you mean? What do you understand by a partnership? What is a partnership? Right? What is a partnership? A coalition between two or more individuals, two or more individuals to set up a business, right? So कोई भी दो लोग, when two people coming together or two or more people coming together and they start a business, it is referred to as partnership, right? Now, the money that has been put in by each of the partner, money put in by the partners is termed as investment, right? So let's say if I start a business with a friend, let's say if I want to start a business with a friend and I put in, let's say 50,000 rupees and my friend puts in 60,000 rupees. So my investment into the business would be termed as 50,000 rupees and my friend's investment would be termed as 60,000 rupees, right? Now in a partnership, there are basically two types of partners, right? There are two types of partners. Two types of partners. First, dormant. Right? So dormant partners simply means that only invested money. Only invested money, but is not involved, in day-to-day running. Day-to-day running of the business. Perfect. So that's what a dormant partner is. There is another type of partner that is a working partner. Right? Working partner. So working partner is also put in money, but involved in day-to-day working. Involved in day-to-day working. Ideally, takes a salary. Now remember, salary is very different from profit. So two partners are there, both have invested their money. At the end of the year, whatever the profit will be, they will be getting their share of profit, right? Now how that share will be decided, we'll be covering after this. But let's understand that bhai, jo bhi profit hoga, they'll be dividing among themselves in whatever ratio that they have decided, right? But apart from that, let's say one of them is not working for the business. He has just invested the money and is not actively running the business. Whereas the other one is involved in day-to-day working. He's the person responsible for running the business. Now that partner must ideally be paid a salary. So apart from the profit that these two people are getting, this partner would also be getting a salary, right? Now the question arises that at the end of the year, when a profit is there, how is the profit divided among the two people or more people, whatever is the number of strength? So how is that profit decided? That in what ratio will person A be getting, what part of the profit person B will be getting? How is that decided? So there are three things over here. There are three concepts that you need to understand, right? So if partners invest, different amounts, but for the same amount of time. Then the profit is divided in the ratio of investment, right? In the ratio of investment. So let's say that there is a person A who has invested 50,000 rupees and he has invested in the money for 6 months, right? There is a person B who has invested 75,000 rupees and he has also invested for 6 months, right? So the amount of time for both of them is the same. That is, both have invested for 6 months, right? So amount of time is same, but the investment value is different, right? So the ratio in which the profit of A and B would be divided is equal to the ratio of the investment. That is, A ka investment is 50,000, B ka investment is 75,000. Ratio of investment turns out to be equal to 50:75. And we know that ratio is always written in the simplest form. So 2:3. So out of whatever profit is there, it will be divided under 5 subheadings, five parts. 2 parts will be given to A, 3 parts would be given to B, right? So if the partners invest different amount, but for the same amount of time, the profit is divided in the ratio of investment, right? Second case is, if partners invest same amount but for different amount of time. But for different amount of time, right? The profit is divided in ratio of time, right? So let's say there is a person A and he invested 50,000 rupees, right? There is a person B who also invested 50,000 rupees. A invested in the business for 4 months. B invested in the business for, let's say, 9 months. Let's not take 9, let's take a different value. Let's say 10 months, right? Now, because the amount is same, both of them has invested the same amount. So when at the end of the year, there would be a profit, the profit would be divided in the ratio of amount of time. So A is to B will be getting what? In the what ratio? 4:10. 4:10 simply means they will be getting in the ratio of 2:5. Right? So that is how it works. Then there is one more case. Now this case tells you that if partners invest different amounts for different amount of time. So if they invest different amount for different amount of time, this is the typical one, and this is what usually is asked in your paper, right? So if partners invest different amount for different amount of time, so this time amount is also different and the time frame for which they have invested is also different, right? The profit is divided in ratio of product of amount and time, right? So whenever they invest different amount for different amount of time, the profit is divided in the ratio of product of amount of time. So let's say, for example, A invested 30,000 rupees for 6 months, right? Whereas B invested 40,000 rupees for 5 months. So the amounts is also different and their time frame is also different. So the ratio in which the profit would be divided would be in the ratio of product of amount and time, that is 30,000 multiplied by 6 is to 40,000 multiplied by 5, right? That simply means what? 4 zeros are to gone already. So we are left with 18:20. That simply means 9:10. 10. So the amount would be divided in the ratio of 9:10. Correct? So 9:10 is going to be your correct answer. Now, one thing that you always have to remember is that if no total time has been given, if no total time frame has been given, the total time of investment is 1 year. क्योंकि बॉस आफ्टर एवरी ईयर द प्रॉफिट हैज टू बी डिवाइडेड, राइट? तो वो केवल 1 ईयर के लिए होता है. सो इफ नो अमाउंट ऑफ टोटल टाइम हैज बीन गिवन, इट इज कंसिडर्ड कैट 12 महीने के लिए और एंटायर वन ईयर दे हैव इन्वेस्टेड द मनी, right? So this is what the basics of partnership is. In the next video, we'll be solving some questions, but before that, there's a quiz for you. So do solve that quiz.